Good morning.
It's Tuesday.
It is. And you sound like you got a smile coming from your toes. I love it. Welcome to the What's the Temp podcast. My name is Betina, and I am coming in hot.
Oh, I like the way you said Betina today. You were like, Betina. I like that. I'm Jen, and I'm checking in so I don't check out. So, should I introduce today? We're switching up the roles, switching it up. Okay. Today's episode is called Perfection Prison Break.
Okay.
And I am super excited about this episode because
loving your excitement.
I'm trying to embody the level of energy you usually bring because you always introduce the episodes. But I'm thrilled about this episode because over the years that I've been observing you, there's one particular practice you do that I absolutely love, that I'm very excited to introduce to our listeners, and that is that you start ruminating on the coming year's goals in August.
Yeah.
So that, which is your birthday month, so that when New Year's Eve craziness comes, you're hitting the ground running.
Yeah.
And when I heard that, I was like, that is incredible. So instead of basically on New Year's Eve scrambling, you just already have all of those systems in place. So let's talk about it.
I love
Betina,
it.
what
Okay.
is your I'm driving today, babe. Rate your current ability to celebrate incremental improvement over ideal outcomes.
Oh, I like this one. I have gotten so much better at that. I was the person that used to be stuck in the perfection trap for a long time. Like if the book wasn't perfect, it could not be released. And until I released my very imperfect Avenue of Purpose, and I think that broke that off of me. So I would honestly rate this, if I was going a weather temp, I would rate it a 75, which is a great temperature.
That's a really good incremental improvement temp.
Yeah, and it's because I don't necessarily anymore need for the thing to be perfect. There's a saying that says done is better than perfect. So I'm somewhere in between. It has to be perfect, but then I don't always agree with done is better than perfect. So I'm somewhere in the middle. There's like a line halfway between the two, which is where I'm standing with my 75 degrees. Because you can put something out that's done. Avenue of Purpose was done. It was not perfect, but I still feel like it could have been tons better than it actually was. What I was proud of was that I released it out into the world and it got me out of the perfection trap. But I will be releasing a second edition to improve upon what I felt was not perfect about the book. And so I'm just in this place now where I'm willing to modify. I used to be so stringent and so persnickety, like what I'm working on, it's just got to be done. It's got to be done. It's got to be done. And I want to say these last couple of years, especially in 2025, this year, my ability to pivot, and pivot really became a word, like a hot word during COVID, if you remember.
Yeah, pivot is a great word.
But my ability to pivot kind of came from that era where we didn't know what the world was doing and my business was changing so rapidly. Everyone's business was changing very rapidly. The way we did things, the people we served, all kinds of things like that. So my ability to pivot in 2025 is pretty amazing, and I can't wait to talk about it. So, but yeah, I'm at a 75 degrees that I'm very comfortable with.
That's a really good temp. I have a follow-up question. Can you elaborate on, with the process of releasing your book, what did you think wasn't perfect about it? And then what happened when it came out imperfectly and you had to let that go?
There was no backlash from it coming out imperfectly. It was my own judgment and criticism
Mm.
of it.
Mm.
Like when I'm a reader. And so when I read the book, I was like, oh, I could have changed this. Oh, I could have reorganized it this way.
Mm.
Oh, we could have gone through 2 more rounds of editing. Those
Mm.
kinds of things.
I know those feelings.
Yeah. And so it was my own judgment, like the public and my the people that I'm in relationship with, that reception was amazing. Like, I don't think I got any negative reviews. It was my own judgment. It was my own expectation. But what I was proud of was actually shipping. There's this thing that Seth Godin talks about, or Godin, I don't know how do you pronounce it, Godin, but he talks about shipping a lot. Like, we do a lot of work leading up to shipping, but a lot of people never ship. And with Avenue of Purpose, I actually shipped it. Like, I put it out into the world. So I was happy with that, but then there was so much that I wish I had done. But I had gone through several rounds of editing. So at that time, that was my perfect. The first book was my perfect. Now, the subsequent books will be a different level of perfect, if that makes
Mm.
sense, because my
Mhm.
standard is different. I know a little bit more. I understand that there are different types of editors. I did not have that information with the first go round. So, you grow, you learn, and when you know better, you do better.
Did you feel like it was perfect when it first got sent to print, but then when you read it back, you didn't feel like it was perfect? Or what allowed you to detach from it the first time? Because as someone who's relatively often been engaged in the artistic process, there's always this question of, is it done or am I done with it?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, the finalizing of it is really tough because when do you get to an end point with this needs no more edits? So where were you at with it when it went to print?
I
Did
was
you
done with it.
Okay.
I was done with it. I had gone through several rounds of editing. And, I don't know if you've experienced this, but I'm sure most people have. When you're working on something, okay, so there's some things that I call like nose blindness when people can't smell their own stench. There's wig blindness. There's wig blindness when people don't know how ugly their wig actually is. There's project blindness when you've been looking at this thing so long and you've been modifying it so much that it's so far from what it was in the beginning. It looks
Mm,
completely different now in this stage. You
mm,
hardly recognize it. But because you understand where it was in the beginning and you've seen massive improvements, this has a level of perfection that it did not have before. So it becomes acceptable. But in your
mm.
mind, you're not seeing it as acceptable. In my mind, it was perfect. I don't know how to explain that. But now, once I read it back, once it was out in the world, I was able to see it from the standpoint
Fresh.
of what a fresh reader would look at it and how
Yes.
they would see it. And then I was able to see the flaws. But while
Mm,
I was working on it through all the iterations of it, I stopped seeing the flaws. I became
yeah.
project
Blind
blind.
to it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Interesting.
So I was done with it.
So how did you cope with seeing its imperfections? What was that adjustment like to you once you realized that you had let go of something into the world that you did not deem to be perfect?
I was still very proud of the work. I was very
Yeah.
proud
Yeah.
of the project. I still am. I'm very proud of the project, but it made me understand what it means to be a writer, to be an author. I don't just want to put anything out into the world. There's a level of excellence that I always want to operate inside of. But at the same time, I don't want to be in the perfection trap. So it's a fine line that I have to walk. But that's why I'm such a deep learner, a thorough learner, because I'm committed to being better than I was the first time around. So I believe that each
Mm.
subsequent book is going to be better and better and better. And then there was a book coach that spoke to me about, she said, you can always release a second edition and improve upon it. And I was like, oh, that's such a blessing,
That is a
like, I
blessing.
did not have to be committed to the first round. Like, the people that
Yes.
got the first round, kudos to you. But the people that will get the subsequent editions will be even more blessed by the project.
This is one of the things that I love the most about you because you actually did it. And how many people do you think are out there that have written a book or started to write a book and who did not release said book?
Oh, thousands.
Millions, I bet.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So it's just amazing to me that you have the chutzpah to just go for it. It's my favorite thing about you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But it's a thing that keeps me pushing forward. Like I think the biggest thing with that release, I think we all have to have a thing that gets us out of the shame game. And I feel like that release did that for me. So it freed
fear
me.
Game,
yes,
too.
The shame and the fear, the potential rejection game, all those things. It broke
potential rejection
so much.
Is a big one.
Actually shipping it broke so much off me that it gave me the courage to work on all the things that I'm working on. And because I actually shipped it, I know that my other things will ship. I do understand timing, though. I understand timing. I understand the benefit of walking away from the project so you can come back to it with fresh eyes. I did not get that back then. I was immersed in that project. So when I was done, I was done. And I never gave myself the chance to walk away from it. I didn't have the luxury for that because if I had, it never would have shipped.
Right.
So I had to get that under my belt. But how about you? What's your temp check? How are you feeling about that?
So I never even think about what temp it's going to be until the exact moment that you ask me.
Okay.
And I'm going to say that today my incremental improvement temp is 83 and sunny.
Ooh, perfect.
I've come a long way, baby. I've come a long way.
I love that.
So
tell me about it.
This is so close to my heart because 7 years ago or so, or coming up on 8 years ago, I was so paralyzed by my own perfectionism. I was constantly vacillating between either, because I was always striving for perfection, very sensitive to making any type of error, extremely sensitive to any type of even perceived criticism. You could not say anything to me without, I heard this one person one time say that their ego was like a balloon that was blown up too big. And the thing about a balloon that's overinflated is that the skin is very, very thin.
Yes.
So you have this really big head, but then the tiniest little prick can just deflate the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's how I was walking around, just like a raw, exposed nerve all the time. Really, really sensitive, but really, really grandiose at the same time.
Yeah, a false sense of what I call it, false sense of self-esteem or false sense of.
Yeah. Well, it's actually in psychology class, they call it unstable high self-esteem.
Ooh.
Isn't that great? I never forgot that. That just lodged itself right in my mind. Unstable high self-esteem. So it means you're too much identified with your accomplishments or your financial status or something about you that could be taken away.
Yeah.
So you're not identified with your inherent goodness, or you're not unconditionally accepting yourself. You're accepting yourself based on false idols kind of thing.
That's what I was thinking. A false sense of self was what I was thinking.
Yeah. So this was really debilitating because it was impossible to like myself. So when I first started going to meetings, I was so addicted to my own specialness. My primary addiction, have not recovered from it still to this day, but it's getting better. And when I started actually opening up and letting people help me and listening to other people's stories, those people started saying my thoughts out loud. And that at first felt good because when you're going through something, so I was going through an extreme self-esteem crisis accompanied by drug and alcohol addiction.
Yeah.
But it feels really good, like you said in last week's episode, when you're a parent and you're like, is my kid doing this? Getting that identification that someone else is in a similar set of circumstances is really healing. But once I came into that community, it allowed me to start working on this perfectionism of mine and this extreme thinking, and to address these isms. So they always say I came for my drinking, I stayed for my thinking. It was my thinking that was driving the self-destructive behavior. And
Right.
and my biggest ism is perfectionism. So ism is the underlying things that are driving whatever your bad habit is.
Yeah.
So I've got this kind of control problem where I think I'm the architect of outcomes. I've got this perfectionism where I'm turning against myself. I've got this real OCD. Like, that perfectionism is like, you just can't let this little detail go, even when it becomes a situation of diminishing returns. Like, you're losing hours and hours over this little thing that is not going to matter. It doesn't affect the whole project or the whole whatever it is. So this topic also reminds me of 3 different phrases. So you had said it's better to be done than, what was it? Better to be done than good?
Perfect.
Okay. Probably not good. But
It's not good. Not good.
But one of my favorite phrases that I was really embracing last year, or maybe a couple years ago, was don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. That is a very, very big one for me, because even with this podcast as an example, there are so many things that I let go. It's a miracle that you and I, both quite type A but in very different ways, can even release this podcast every week. Because the amount of errors that we have to live with is very humbling. I can't go after every single one. There's time constraints here. So sometimes I just have to release things where it's like, seriously? And you just have to let it go.
This would be something that would have never seen the light of day if I was totally in control. If I didn't have a partner, this would have been something that would never seen the light of day.
I agree. And this is an example, though, of don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. If I tried to go after every single like and every single the thing would never come out. So you just kind of let go. You take your hands off of it. Let it go. Let it go. My daughter's become obsessed with Frozen recently, and we've somehow avoided it until 2025. But now it's taken over everything in our house. And you just hope
we're going to traumatize every parent with just that "let it go" right there.
It's so catchy. I love a Broadway ballad, though. Like, you have no idea. I'm such a theater nerd at heart, so I love it. I'm like pretending not to like it. I'm like, this again, and then I'm like, here I stand. The cold never bothered me anyway. It's so good.
Love it.
It's so good, but you just hope. Okay, I just hope the message carries, or I hope that the thing as a whole is still pulsating and resonating with whatever life it was supposed to have, and that nobody's going to get caught up on some little thing in the way that I would, or that you would.
Can we just interject right here just how the feedback that we get on a regular basis from regular listeners or from first-time listeners that love the podcast? So can you imagine how we would have cheated this community out of whatever it is that they find great about this work that we're doing and that we're actually shipping every week? I say shipping, but as that we're actually shipping every week. Just imagine how we would have cheated them out of us, because I literally cannot go to certain people's houses without having the conversation being taken over about, oh my gosh, I was listening to the podcast and Jen said, and then you said, and so, but
that's hard to imagine.
Can you imagine how we would have cheated this community, even though it's small still, this small community that are blessed by this work and that enjoy. Honestly,
I love your confidence, though. The ease.
Yeah. But that builds me up. Honestly, it does. Like, how many times have you sent me screenshots from people that have texted you?
I do compile them into a special photo album of my phone.
Yeah.
I do.
If I could just encourage anyone listening that has not shipped that thing, that,
we want to hear it.
Yes, the world
we want to read it. We want to see it. Yeah, exactly.
We want to see it.
I heard Brene Brown actually, I think, is the one who said it. And she said, how many people have books inside of them or who have songs inside of them?
Yeah.
We want to hear it. And that really encouraged me to, when I took a stab at writing a book during our accountability group
Yeah.
and didn't even get halfway through the editing process, and that book will never be released.
Wow.
I think I wrote, like, what did I write? 400 pages? And then I
Wow.
just read it
You
back and I was
did.
like, I hate this. And I just never
Yeah.
even wanted to look at it again. It was just that self-loathing just came through again for me.
Yeah.
And just the pure laziness of not wanting to edit it. But I gave up on myself. Maybe one day I'll try again. But the other couple of expressions I just want to throw into the mix before we transition is also at a meeting in my very early sobriety. I heard someone say, I'm not here to be perfect. And I just thought, what does he mean? That just did not compute for me. He said, I'm a man, just said, I'm not here to be perfect.
Right.
It just didn't work for me. And then as I kept repeating it to myself and I sort of tried it on for size and I just said out loud, I'm not here to be perfect. And then I started saying it over and over again whenever something would happen where I would deliver something that wasn't perfect. And I don't mean even something at work. Like the stuff at work kind of needs to be perfect because I'm in accounting and it's like very exact. But, you know, a conversation, a party, a dish, whatever it is that I'm doing, whatever it is I'm serving up, I'm not here to be perfect. I can just let myself off the hook. If I tried something, if my intentions were good and I tried it and I'm out of the outcome business. And finally, my favorite phrase, progress, not perfection. I'm thriving in that one right now.
Yeah.
I am. I think I'm making progress. I think I'm making progress on certain things more than others, but I don't care about perfectionism anymore. I'm casting it aside and I'm showing up as my best self, and my best self is perfectly imperfect. Boom, done.
I love that. I love the perfectly imperfect because it's so true. And the more we try to make everything perfect or appear perfect, that's us stepping into our God complex. And that's
Perfect
the place
is
where
ugly.
we never want to be.
Perfect is ugly. Wabi sabi is in.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's go into this backstory. I'm excited.
Let's do it.
Kick us off,
So, our backstory today, I'm driving. I love this. Our backstory today is on a scale of 1 to 10. How are you feeling in regards to progress on your 2025 goals? Since it is right around your birthday month, it's a little bit later, but let's talk about it.
Okay, so for me, I wouldn't say, if you said it on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say I'm a 7. And so to me, it's the end of the year. So I set these goals a year ago, end of August last year. So it's the end of a year. And here's what happened to me this year. My goals last year were so ridiculously audacious.
Audacious is a good word.
Kidding you.
Delusional might be more like it.
But can I just tell you, she, her, me made progress, honey.
I believe you did.
Major progress.
I believe it.
But towards the middle-ish of the year, life happened for me. I'm the person that in this space where I am now, because I just moved, I figured I would get here, just put my head down and grind. That was the whole reason I set such audacious goals, because I didn't have time. There's no social life because I don't know anyone here really.
True.
There weren't a lot of distractions. There weren't a lot of, I don't know that I really understood the time suck that the podcast would be. So I kind of allocated my time in a way. So my goals were basically to create an accountability course. And if I was going to give so for each thing, I'm going to tell you where it's at right now. Okay. The accountability course is 80% created. Literally, I could sit down and complete it and launch it in a month if I had to. The thing was also not the accountability course, the accountability group, remember? The accountability group is 80% done.
Okay.
The work from home course, I wanted to create a work from home course, which I thought was audacious. And the reason that was important was because I was also writing 4 work from home books. Remember that?
This was a lofty project, this one.
Of the 4 books, 2 of them are completed. The other 2, I stopped when I realized I needed to really pour more into the podcast. And I really wanted to change direction because I had done these crazy outlines. And when I was starting to write book 2, I had to change direction because it did not feel authentic with my work from home experience.
Yeah.
It kind of felt more theoretical about what I know about working from home versus what I experience from working from home. And so I had to change direction with that book, which also changed things for books 3 and 4. So books 1 and 2 are complete. Book 3 is in the works. So now back to the work from home course. The work from home course is 70% done. If I needed to sit down and launch it, I could get it completed in 6 weeks. Very, very proud of that. Very proud of that because that was it's a lot of work.
So what I love about how big you make your goals is that you shoot for the stars to give yourself a chance to reach the moon. You know that expression?
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Like you'll
if
set
I
a
shoot
goal
for the moon and land on a star, who's mad?
Yes, exactly. So you'll set a goal that's impossibly large, and then you'll make huge strides in that thing.
Absolutely.
I don't think you would have if you had set a more limited goal.
Right. I couldn't have gotten this far. No one would have gotten this far.
Like if you said, I'm going to write 2 books, you would have written 1.5. But if you said you'd write 4, you'd write 2.
I wrote 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then book 5 is the story of my life, which is more of an adventure though, because my life has been so incredibly crazy.
I want to read that book.
Everybody does. My friends are like, tell
and
me.
You know it.
These are the people that were disappointed with Avenue of Purpose because they were like, this is a rinsed down version. It's cute, but it's very rinsed down. It's very watered down. It's very peachy. It's very, I'm like, listen, y'all, I'm trying to turn people back to God. I ain't trying to turn people to the streets and to somebody's man's husband's bed. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm just kidding. But I'm saying this to say.
But that's what we want. You're missing it still.
Because y'all are messy. Because y'all are messy.
We want the mess. We're all a mess. So you need something to relate to.
Which is an adventure. I never thought I could write a book like that. So it's a fictional nonfiction. I don't know. I thought I made that up, but apparently it's a thing. But it's a fictional, so it's a true story. But I had to add characters. I had to add life. I had to add characters because my life seems unreal. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a hint. Like literally somebody died. Not kidding you. So my life seems unreal. Not like morbid in a morbid way, in a funny way, but you know, like somebody died. So I'm saying that to say, if I ever really told the story, I don't know how to tell it from the, I walk with God every day standpoint, because back then I was not, honey. I was not.
Yeah.
And so that being said, but that book, which is so much more fun to write, it is very fun to write. It includes more of my personality than I think this podcast has ever seen. It's a real story, but I would say that I'm 1/3 into that and very happy with the direction.
The pieces you read to me, I was blown away. No joke. I was like, you can do that. I was so blown away.
So if I was to look over what I reached for last year, I don't know if you could quantify what percentage. I would say I'm 65%. If I just totaled all the projects and if I was going towards 100%, I made it to a 65% mark. And then I switched direction to simplify my life because I had myself just scheduled to the hilt. And that was no way to really live. And I did start building a social life here a little bit, tiny,
Yeah.
probably 5-10%. But then also my brother died. I had to go home for a month. So then I had to really start looking at
Mm.
how I was running my life and what I was making room for. My prayer life really took a front seat. And I really like that. I like that it did because
Mm.
I have a piece that I just did not have when I started out on those projects. It was
Yeah.
like I was pouring all of my energy, all of my soul into all of that. So while I did not finish everything, I'm very happy with my progress. And when I look forward, I'll do things differently. And we'll talk about that in the coming
Mm.
segment.
Mhm. That's legit.
How about you?
So my 2025 goals, I actually set 5 goals every year, but I'm gonna simplify it and consolidate it.
Mm-hmm.
So my number 1 goal is to start a podcast. Check.
Ah,
Uh,
check'ems.
so that one, let's just linger on that one again. I think we've done how many episodes?
Probably
20 something?
I don't know, almost 20 something. I don't know.
Yeah. So we're sticking to it. We're gonna be here. We'll be here every week, I hope, for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah, you guys can't get rid
And
of us.
it's been an adjustment. It is a lot of work, but not an unmanageable amount. And I feel really committed to it. And it's changed me fundamentally as a person because, like I said, I thought I was going to have this allergic reaction to myself. And instead, I was like, yeah, this is what it is. Sometimes I'm listening back and I'm like, I do agree with that. And not that it should be a surprise that I agree with myself because
You're a
I
whole
do.
vibe, though. You're a whole vibe.
But sometimes it makes me feel good. I'm like, yeah, that is something that I feel a
Mhm.
conviction about, and I love interacting with you, and I just love it. I don't know, there's just something about it that I'm feeling it, and I feel more creatively fulfilled than I've ever felt. So that's a big one for me because I think I've been searching for something like this for a really long time. So just I think
Yeah.
you've tipped me over into actually putting it out there, and I
Yeah.
really have to thank you for that because I don't think I ever would have, when I said, "Sure, let's do a podcast someday," and then when you said I was thinking 2025, you made it really
Mhm.
concrete. Like, don't
Yeah.
say that unless you mean that.
Yeah.
And, it's true. We started recording in January of 2025, and it's the last day of September, so that's the date. It'll be October when we
Yeah.
release this, the first week of October, and here we are sticking with it. So that's not nothing.
Yeah. I applaud us both. But I think the biggest thing is just I think the first few weeks were we not just the first couple months, honestly, were we not just seeing if we could show up every week and just release every week? That was just
I
like
thought we could. I thought we could.
I didn't know that I could. I didn't know that
Mm,
I had that stick-to-itiveness when it came to another person. I knew that I had that, but I didn't know how you and I would gel as far
mm,
as showing up every week because it's a business relationship. And
yeah.
it adds a nuance and it adds a perspective, a side that we just didn't have in our personal relationship. And so I didn't know how you operated in business. I did not know. But we made it fun and we made it enjoyable. And I just love who we have become in this process. In almost 10 months of doing this, I feel like I've changed for the better in
Yeah.
light of this work that we do together.
Same.
And I
Same.
couldn't have done it by myself.
Same.
So that was your number one. Okay.
Yeah. And I do have to remark again on how gracefully you go into, I'm really proud of us. And then I'm thinking we're being too self-congratulatory. We're alienating everybody. Like we're just very
Oh,
opposite. It's just funny to me because
very.
you just have an ease. And in the next section, I'm going to talk about how I'm planning on embodying some of that ease in 2026, not in
Okay.
2025. We still got 3 more months of 2025. So I'm going to stay awkward and withdrawn for the rest of 2025. But so my
Committed.
second goal was lateness. I haven't made that much
Mhm.
progress on lateness, but I've been really putting the effort in.
You
And
have.
there's only one new thing that has happened that I think is going to contribute to future success. But because of setting the intention to work on lateness now for the this is actually the third year that I'm going to renew it, but we'll get into that next section. But I set it for 2024. I set it for 2025. Lateness is a really big problem for me. Just my time management is, like I said, can only be described as delusional. But I have had recently this little voice that enters in and says, you don't have time for that, Jen. That's a new voice.
Wow.
I know. Isn't that such a huge breakthrough for me?
Big.
So case in point, I was supposed to meet my 2 friends for a pool day this summer, so a couple months ago, and we were going to meet at 10:30, and I had a thought that I might go to the mall first and also still be on time. Now, no store at the mall opens before 10.
Before 10 o'clock.
And the mall is 15 minutes from my friend's house. So I thought I was going to go to the mall. I was going to arrive at the exact second everything opened, which you know me, that would never happen. And then I was also still going to arrive at my friend's house at 10:30. I wanted to go buy a sports bra. I was very obsessed. I just needed a sports bra. And then that little voice came in and it said, you don't have time for that, Jen.
Oh.
And I didn't do it. So
that's very new.
It's very new because I've realized that some of the stuff is harder for me. Like cooking dinner in less than 2 hours still continues to be a struggle. Cleaning the kitchen in that time also continues to be a struggle. I just cannot seem to get organized around either of those things. But the choosing not to even pursue something, that's something that actually I am going to make headway in, because sometimes I think I can sneak a lot more things in than are actually possible due to time constraints. So just abandoning certain tasks has actually contributed to my punctuality at times.
I love it.
Third goal, embodied presence. I have been asking the universe to help me to notice things more. I really live between my ears all the time, and I just want to see the bird when we're walking around the lake. I want to notice the paint splash on the wall. I want to notice what my children are doing and their facial expressions instead of being busy cooking dinner. So there's these moments that I'm wanting to more fully embody. I've been basically obsessed with that all year. And I've noticed, and I don't believe that I'm the one who can fix things about myself. I actually believe that I have to set the intention to fix it, but that it will more or less be worked out in the background by whatever divine force is operating, whether that's something biological and innate to me or something outside of me. I've just noticed that when I try to hammer something on the head, it doesn't usually change. Like, for example, my time management and things like that. So I have set the intention just to ask that I be granted more observational powers and more bodily awareness and just more presence with a capital P. And I've been having moments of that. So that one I feel that time management, incremental improvement 10%, podcast 100%, and then embodied presence, I would say 20 to 35%. So progress, not perfection. That's me.
I love it. That's really good, though. I feel like the most important thing is the presence, because
big time.
Who wouldn't want to be present in the moment,
Exactly.
And to be able to notice things that other people just so easily overlook.
Why am I missing my own life?
And especially as a parent of young children, it's so important. So I think that I feel like of all the things that we do, the most important things are showing up in the ways that they should.
Yeah, showing up fully contributes to every other goal.
Yeah. And I feel like the time thing is going to work itself out as you become more present when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because
Agreed.
Just you saying that, the new voice that says you don't have time for that, that never used to happen. You would just go off the rails.
Yeah, I was like, I can empty a dishwasher, clean the house, do this all before walking out the door to the doctor's appointment. No, you can't.
Yeah.
And those are not time-sensitive things. Yeah. Huge.
Yeah, I love that.
Go us.
Oh, we're making progress. Not perfection.
let's transition into our life focus question. How are you liking the feeling of me driving you into it?
Oh, I'm loving it, honey. I look good as a passenger princess. Understand it.
Come along for the ride. Our life focus question is, what's next? So, I'm just into this New Year. I know for you it's not New Year's Eve resolutions, but for most people it is New Year's Eve resolutions. So since it's September coming on October, so we're entering into Q4 here.
Yes.
The life focus question is, what's next for 2026? Finding freedom in iterative self-improvement. And I want to put in a little note here that when we did look at this yesterday to decide how to phrase the question, and I said, I don't like that word iterative, and you said, I like it, and we're doing it.
Yeah.
So tell us what iterative means, first of all, and then tell us what's next for 2026, finding freedom in iterative self-improvement.
The old version of Betina would have a list of things that I'm going to achieve, that I'm going to complete, that I'm going to do or finish. And in this iteration, so when you think of the iterative process, this is how it was for this version. This second version is a little bit better. This next version, so it's iterations, right? In this iteration of setting goals, I am in a place now where I have little things. It's so weird. I don't have all these things. Like, I am going to finish the book. So something happened this year. And I don't know if it was something you said to me or something I said to myself as I was working on all of my projects, because what I did was I scaled back probably from 100% having my entire schedule working on the accountability, the group, the course and the books and all that stuff. That was literally almost 100% of my schedule, but I was not working out. I was not giving myself time to prepare good meals for myself and things like that because my whole schedule was jam-packed. And somewhere around the time that I had to go home for my brother's funeral, I want to say like a month or a month and a half before that, something that you and I had spoken about. But then as I was working through the schedule, it's like, I'm breaking my neck to finish all of this stuff. But then when you think about trying to sell it, when you don't have a name, like I don't have an audience, I don't have a following yet, per se, right? The people that know me, that buy from me, are the same people that are always going to buy from me. But you're talking about a couple hundred people, right? I'm not talking about the thousands and the masses. So I was like, I'm breaking my neck to finish all of this stuff when why wouldn't I become great at podcasting, become a better speaker, be able to speak clearer, be able to speak in bullet points, just get a little bit better incrementally.
Which you can only learn that by doing it.
You can only learn it by doing it. Get better at that, which will automatically bring a following, increase the following, just get better at, learn how to market it, learn how to get it out there in front of the eyes that it needs to. So I said, in order to do that, I need to free up some of my time. So stepping away from all those things and focusing on the main thing. Now what that showed me was, all right, once the podcast blows up, then guess what? When I decide to release all this stuff, it's going to easily sell because now people already know my voice, and the people that are interested in what I'm into, the people that are looking to me for accountability, they're going to want the group. The people that are looking to me for work from home tips, they're going to want the books and they're going to want the course, that kind of thing, right? So it became silly to work so hard on it when I needed to be focusing on this thing that we're shipping every single week. So that became a priority. Now, there was like a piece. Since then, you were talking about April, May-ish, right? There's been a piece in my work between then and now, the end of September. As I look forward in 2026, my schedule is not jam-packed. My schedule, everything is about becoming the best version of myself for today. Yes, that includes my body. I'm working out 3-4 times
consistently,
a week. Yeah, and I've been doing it since like June, I want to say. And I'm not going to give that up. I'm actually looking forward to, now that I live in the Midwest, what does winter look like? So I'm
Oh,
preparing
yeah.
myself for when it gets too cold for me to go out to the gym. How do I set my home up where I have everything I need? So my gym room has to get from the storage in California to the Midwest so that by
Mm,
winter I have everything that I need.
yeah.
So my focus is just different. It's on embodying the things that make me better. Like, okay, so I'm going to give you an example. You ever heard a song that every time you hear it, you're like, oh, God had to give that person that song because it's no way they wrote that or they came up with that melody on their own. You know what I mean? Like that
Mm,
had to be, that's divine.
yeah.
When there's something about someone or something that someone creates and we call it divine, I want to find the divinity in me. Like, what in me is divine? What in me is going to bring God glory? And so for
Mm,
me, I think 2026 is about, it's about some creation, yes, not 100% like 2025 started out to be.
yeah.
Maybe 30% creation,
Mm,
30%, this podcast. That other 30 something percent is about me, or 40% is about me. It's about just displaying the best version of me in this season. Being a woman of a certain age, your body is changing. The way that I look has changed, the way that
yeah.
I want to look. And then instead of me just being a victim of my own body or a victim of my own circumstances and all this stuff, I want to just put out the best version of myself for this next phase of my life. I want to look amazing as a 50-some-year-old woman in pre menopause, whatever all the things are. I want to look amazing at it. I don't want to look like I'm haggard in this stage. And I'm not saying that I have, but I feel like there's kind of been a little bit of loosening of the reins here, you know? And I want to look good. I just have some things that I want to do, and it's not concrete like I'm going to write 3 books and I'm going to put out 5 songs and I'm going to speak on a large stage. It's not that. I'm open to what God wants to do, but wherever he takes me, I'm going to look amazing when I get there.
What was coming to mind when you were talking first was I think you make perimenopausal look pretty damn good. I don't know if that's
Thank
even the
you.
word, if it's perimenopausal or whatever it is, but I was thinking it could be a cool thing to reclaim the narrative of menopause to make it like a
Yeah.
really dignified, just a woman of grace and dignity and power in, and instead of making menopause feel like it's an inconvenience or a weakness or something. It feels like
Yes.
menopause is always has such a bad connotation. I just wonder, could we
Yes.
make it into something really amazing? Like, you earned this perimenopausal. Is it peri? What does
Yes.
peri mean? I don't even know.
I
But
think
yeah,
peri is right before you get into pre. So you're showing some symptoms, your hormones are
okay.
changing and things like that. But
I
how
think you
about
make
we
it look
look?
great. Yeah, I think you
Thank
look
you.
you're really making it shine. So I'm gonna choose to see it like that. And I think you're embodying that. The other thing I'm loving that I'm hearing is you're finding balance. So a couple episodes ago when you had been talking about grind culture and how you
Mhm.
were really into it in the beginning, sometimes I still wonder if you have subconsciously subscribed a little bit to it just because of your cycles of working really, really hard and then burning out and then only resting when your body forces you to.
Yeah.
And what I've been seeing this year in 2025 is a real awakening. And
Mhm.
especially in that episode a couple weeks ago that you texted me at 11 p.m. the night before the release to yell at me, basically. That episode, I
Let's
think
let the
I'm
past stay in the past, Jen.
okay. I This is like a relationship, like, it truly is like a relationship where it's like there's a 1 week cutoff on or a whatever month cutoff where you can only talk about something after a certain period of time. You know that thing where like you can't bring up something from 7 years ago, but I think a week is well within the realm of possible for me
Too
to bring
funny.
up.
It's still very recent.
Yeah, that's 1 week ago. I'm still allowed to laugh at it. So, basically, what I'm loving is the way that you're coming into yourself in Indiana, the way that you're starting to dip your toe back into community. Now, did you call your friends that you met on your birthday? I'm going to give you a little accountability here.
I have not. I sent a text, but you know what? I will today. I
Okay.
will today. Thank you for that.
Because you had some chemistry and you had some kismet.
Yeah.
The fact that it was their anniversary on your birthday. So you got to, when those signs from the divine come, you got to, okay, that's what I think.
Yeah, thanks for that.
You got to act. So what I'm loving is I can see this because you're a hard worker. No one's going to take that away from you. You know, when you go hard. So what I can see for you for 2026 is I can see what you're talking about with this kind of those thirds, that rule of thirds. So I actually have heard of the rule of thirds, but slightly differently, where it's you work for 8 hours, you have 8 hours for you, and then you sleep for 8 hours. So that's a very kind of rough diagram, but you're talking more about your awake hours. How will that be split up? So what I'm loving is that you're bringing in this new category that goes to you in community, and you have reconnected with your family this year. So your relationships and all the things that don't have an end game to them. They're not something with a goal at the end. They're not something with a deadline. And they're just things that fill your cup. Because I think that creativity is really divine. I know that in the Bible, God is referred to as the creator and with a capital C. And I think creativity really is divine. The way that I experience creativity is when I'm writing songs is things dropping down upon me that did not come from me, that I write down. And that's the way that I try to also write every morning, that stream of consciousness. I don't do it every morning anymore, but the morning pages idea is you're just making yourself a channel. And actually in that Stephen King book on writing that we talked about, he says that he doesn't consider himself a writer as much as a transcriber.
Yes.
He's only just getting into a place where he can receive messages so that he can write them down. It's not coming from him. It's coming from the muse. I mean, there's all these ideas about that, but I wonder what your creative output could look like if you had that solid base in rest, in restoration, in relationship.
Yeah. Instead of going from one task to the next.
And becoming drained and depleted.
But it makes me more of a conduit than, so this is the way you describe it. It makes me more of a conduit than a just like, like I feel like it felt like, oh, okay, now it's time to cut this off and go right into that thing, right? I won't have that going into this year. I'm more, and I love that you mentioned God as the creator, because actually the reason that's so important is because it's the first aspect of himself that he showed us in the Bible as a creator with a capital C. Like he started with that, which says that that's the best part about us, is our creativity. So I will still write my adventure book. I will complete those other 2 books.
Definitely you will.
You know, all that stuff is going to happen, but it's going to happen in the time frame that it happens. Because what I've noticed is, even when we're working on the podcast, I'm starting to work on marketing. So what I'm doing is learning, like, okay, I'm creating this framework. I work better inside frameworks. If I can create a framework, then I can say, okay, this is automatic and I don't have to think. If I can cut out the need to think in the process, then I can just get it done faster, but I can get it done well. Makes sense? And so I'm creating my own framework with how to market the podcast until we're at the place where we can hire a marketing agency. We're not there yet in our ministry. So how do I create a framework that allows me to do this in the place where I feel satisfied? And that's what I'm doing with my life, though. I'm creating a framework for my life that allows me to create at my highest levels, but not with that unnecessary urgency. That I put, it was like self-imposed
urgency. Yes.
And so I don't need that anymore. And so I can create and I can enjoy the process this way.
I think we've had this, I'm having a flashback to one of our Tuesday weekly phone calls when I was on my way to Surrender Yoga, where we were talking about manpower versus God power. It's a big concept in the recovery community to, instead of burning energy foolishly, to just rely on God power, to basically just tap into a higher power and then to be driven by that force instead of your own energy, because your own energy is limited and then God power is limitless. And what I'm hearing also from what you're saying is there's this both and that's coming in here, where it's the schedule can include this productivity and these different tasks that are assigned in your project management software, but it's not necessarily instead of community. It's not necessarily instead of joining in a group doing X, or it's not necessarily instead of working out like it has been in previous years. And it can be all of the things that fill your cup, and then your cup overfloweth into the tasks that you need to do, because you're aligned with both your body and your spirit and your soul and the divine, and everything is in harmony. And then your output would just increase without you even trying to do that.
Right. And I feel that the best things come out. Like, not only will your output increase, the quality of your output increases.
Definitely. Yeah.
But there is one thing I want to mention. So I said I wanted to lose weight and cut my hair off and go gray. I still want to go gray. I still want to go gray.
Okay.
I'm losing the weight. But I feel like the weight loss is a long game. It's not a short game. And I love my approach to that, because I don't want to lose weight for a date, even though I have a cruise coming up. I don't want to lose weight for the cruise. I want to lose weight and learn how to keep it off, learn how to live, like teach my body to sustain this size and things like that, right?
You want to change your lifestyle in a way that's sustainable.
Yes. So cutting my hair off isn't going to happen anytime soon, because the weight is coming off slowly. I'm still hovering around 15 pounds down. So remember, I had lost 15 pounds. Then I went to California and I ate my way through Los Angeles. And then I came back bigger than ever. And so now I'm back to the 15 pounds down, and I'm teaching myself how to maintain that, even though the holidays are coming up. So I'm just going to do as much as I can through the holidays. I'm going home for Thanksgiving. But all that being said, instead of me thinking about cutting my hair off right now, I'm deciding to grow waist length hair right now.
What?
And it's currently, I want to grow waist length hair. So right now it's currently at my armpits. And but I'm pushing, I need about 5 or 6 more inches to get waist length hair. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm going to do waist length hair, and at some point it's going to be gray. It might be gray now. I might color it now. I don't know. Some point it's going to go gray, but instead of me cutting it all off and being a baldy, I'm going to grow waist length hair. That's the only
about your
goal
extremes.
I can give you. I know, girl, please. I'm all over the map, but I'm loving it. I'm excited.
I'm going to hold you to it.
Okay, come on. Let's look forward for you. What do you have?
So for 2026, I am keeping one of them in place, which is I want to continue to work on time management / lateness for the third year in a row. Because I feel like I am making some headway, but it's still really impeding my life. I'm late to every single doctor's appointment. I'm late to anything where there's an option to be late. If I'm not late, I'm there exactly 1 to 5 minutes early. I could be enjoying my life in a different way, where I arrive to a doctor's appointment half hour early and have time to read a few articles of something or read a book, or I could just be moving at a more leisurely pace. I don't really rush in general, but when I am late, the whole way to getting there feels stressful to me, because I'm looking at the time and I'm trying to force the time to go slower. There literally could not be a more futile act than to try to force time to slow down. So I'm going to keep working on that. I'm going to go actually in order 2, then 3, then 1. Number 3, because I'm basically keeping 2 of my top 3 from last year up there. Number 3 is a twist on embodied presence, but I am keeping it as embodied presence, but I'm just going to also add that I want to rest and read more.
Okay.
So this is a continuation of no phone, but by no phone, I don't necessarily mean no phone. I mean, if I'm reading an article, I subscribed to a couple of publications this year that really enhanced my life, because I really love to read, but I'm not using them. So I'm just paying for them without actually using them, because I never feel like I can justify slowing down enough to sit down and read something. It's my favorite thing to do, to read. Why am I losing out on that enjoyable pastime? And read to me is synonymous with rest. So in that episode, when you were talking about these different things that you do, sometimes the things that you do are really restful. Like reading out in your backyard is really restful. Walking while
Yeah.
listening to music is, not by definition restful, but it's quite meditative, I think it can be. So trying to integrate rest more is a really big thing for me this year. So it is about being present and observing. And I'm also just going to make something really tangible be a part of that, which is just to read more and rest more. So I kicked it off this morning. I didn't go to yoga this morning because I hurt my elbow and I didn't want to do a bunch of planks and stuff. Yeah, it's like annoying. But I was coming back from dropping the kids off at daycare, and this huge pull in me was like, go to Kohl's, go to Kohl's. But I had told, because I need a onesie for my 1-year-old. But
Okay.
I had spoken with my spiritual advisor this morning, and I had told her I'm going to lay on the couch and watch Love Island USA season 6 this morning. So I had already put it out there that I was going to do the ultimate guilty pleasure at between the hours of 9 and 10 in the morning. I was going to lay on the couch and I was going to watch Love Island, and that was going to be that. And this huge part of me wanted to avoid it, and I could feel this productivity screaming out. But because I knew we were going to record this later and because I knew what the topic was, I said to myself, just go against that voice with every ounce of energy you have. And so I did. I came home and I didn't even clean the kitchen. I left the kitchen dirty, which is unthinkable. And I got down onto the couch and I made myself I did eventually get up and make myself a little snack plate, but I didn't clean up the kitchen. And I just sat there and I did. And it was so wonderful because I just need to rest. My body is like breaking down right now. I'm sleeping horribly. Now I have this tense elbow. It's just annoying. So I want to take care of myself. So I'm going to rest and read more. And then my number one, this one actually comes from 2 people, and one of them is you. This is new for me. Okay. Number one for my goal for 2026 is, and this is what I'm going to come out of my reserved nature a little bit, like I was saying earlier, I want to practice engagement without apology.
Explain.
I want to participate.
I'm smiling from ear to ear because I think I know what it means.
So I want to participate more. So part of this, there's 2 pieces to this. Number one is that I'm going to break the 3rd wall again. You told me that there was all of a sudden a slew of edits started coming in, and the edits were like, there was basically like maybe between 20 to 30, you know what I mean, that got cut out of these last 3 episodes. And my first thought was, I was like, why are you whitewashing this episode? Because I thought you were trying to like tamp down your personality, basically. And I was just like, you're watering this down. And no, but then you told me, you said, it's because I feel like I'm saying it literally. You're not saying it as a hypothetical or a facetious. Right. It's like you're saying it because you're asking me to respond and I'm being silent. Yeah. And so I had been only just thinking of myself as a wonderful listener. I was just fancying myself this wonderful listener, but you were perceiving it as, is she scrolling through her phone? And you said that to me, and you were perceiving it as, so how could there be such a big miscommunication where I feel like I have such rapt attention, and then you think I'm scrolling through my phone? So I started to really look at that and to think, am I not engaging fully with the world around me? And of course the answer is no, because I think I'm still coming out of hiding. I do struggle to assert myself. I do struggle to participate, and I opt out a lot. And so let me put a pin in that one right there. The other piece that, you know how sometimes things come to you from different sources and make you think this is really something worth considering. So the other piece was Sarah. So it was my birthday. It actually ended up being my birthday last weekend and the weekend before. But the weekend before, which was my actual birthday, I was talking to Sarah, and she was saying that when people sing her happy birthday, she said she looks around and tries to make deep eye contact with every single person while they're singing so that she can fully absorb all of the birthday blessings.
I love it.
And I thought, whoa, because I avert eye contact, feel incredibly awkward and embarrassed, not just because that's a terrible song, but just because it's really awkward to have all eyes on you and to be the center of attention. I don't do that. So I had 3 opportunities to practice that. The first one was when they sang happy birthday. The second for my birthday when I had people over. The second time was when my friend Joyce said you can't do it without a candle. So then we had to go upstairs, get a candle, and do the entire thing again. So I got to have take 2. And then this past weekend, I went out with these Zumba ladies that it's just, I am so self-righteous sometimes because I always think I know how something's going to be. So I was thinking, well, I don't want to do this. I'm not that close with these people. This is going to be awkward, blah, 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 blah. I only really know 2 of them out of the 7 or 9, and it's just not going to be fun. And I don't want to spend my night out. I'd rather go with these people than this people if I'm going to go for a night out, blah, blah, blah. I always think I know how things are going to be. And I end up going, and I just ended up having an absolute blast. This one woman who's so
cool.
funny, she just ended up making the whole thing about my birthday. So then she told the restaurants my birthday. It's like, my birthday's a week ago. She had the whole restaurant like sing me happy birthday. There was all these desserts and everything. And then we went out and I did the same thing. I just looked around every single one of these people. I don't even know them all that well, but I just looked and I just opened myself and I received and I participated in all their birthday blessings. And then we went out dancing. And then this same woman who was getting quite tipsy at this point asked the DJ to sing happy birthday. And I was like, come on, because that's the worst song ever. But guess what? They sang me the Black Happy Birthday. And I was thinking about you, happy birthday. And that's a real banger. So I was pretty happy with that. I was jumping and I was dancing and everybody was dancing with me. And we just danced the night away. And I was just asking myself, why am I not doing this more? I can't even remember. I mean, I dance regularly, obviously, because I dance every week at Zumba class. But I have not been out dancing and I don't even know how long. And if you take weddings out of it, it's got to have been 2 decades. So then I went last week to a Zumba class and I decided to do the sounds and the smiling. So I was doing the woo and I was smiling. So those 2 things as a general rule I don't do. And why did I do it? Because I wanted to participate. I wanted to contribute more to my energy sphere. And instead of just taking, I wanted to see what I could contribute to the stream of life. So that is my goal. My goal for 2026 is I want to try to come out of my shell a little bit more. And that's pretty much it.
Can I just tell you what I love? I love that the theme is not just producing, but being better. Like, to me, these are the things that bring God glory, honestly. Just being a better version of ourselves and being intentional about that. Setting the intention to just be a better version of ourselves.
Yeah.
That is always good. That can never go wrong.
And to keep trying. Like, so what? I failed with lateness most times for the last 2 years. So what?
Yeah.
I want this.
But there is progress. Even if it's small, there is progress, and that deserves to be celebrated.
And it's not linear. Like, the couple of times that I managed to arrive something on time, I then basically right away was late again for the next 3 times. It's not linear.
And can I just say, honey, I had to celebrate because my call today came at 10:01, not 10:07. So, baby, I'll take that 6 minutes. That 6 minutes was an eternity that I was saved on today. So I'm going to celebrate you.
Good. And I'll take it because now I'm a receptor and I'm also a giver and I'm letting the spirits fly. There's some line from some Rumi poem where he says, open up your chest and let the spirits fly in and out. And that's what I'm doing. Starting now, starting to plant the seeds, but heading into 2026 3 months early. Boom.
Yeah. Yeah. And that way, and the reason I did this, so just to give people an idea. So for me, my birthday ends a year and starts a new one. And so instead of me waiting until January to decide what I want to do with that year, if I started at my birthday, then all of my systems could be in place by the time the new year started. And I could be way ahead of anyone else just starting it. It's not about a race between myself and anyone else, but why wouldn't I want to get a jump start if I'm that serious about
it's a race between you and yourself.
Accomplishment.
Yourself and you.
Myself today and myself yesterday.
And one more thing that I wanted to add is that I'm very, very big on action. So and also what type of action can you take today? So because I'm introing myself into the realm of participation. That's why I was trying to really enthusiastically host this episode. So instead of
Again,
just
very
taking
proud, very proud.
instead of just taking a back seat and just being quieter and more reserved, which is my temperament in all fairness, but I decided to just try something different today. So I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe I'll be back next week and maybe not. We'll see.
Yes.
So let's get into this recipe. Today's recipe is version 1.0 veggie bowl. Simple base you can improve over time. You want to hit me with something like that?
My veggie bowl does not change. It's the same thing. I'm going to put a little avocado oil or some olive oil in a pan. I'm going to throw all the veggies. So I slice onion, different kinds of onion. So I'll use yellow onion and red onion.
Interesting. I've never done that.
I love yellow onion because I like colors in my veggie bowl. So I'll use yellow onion and red onion. I will slice carrots very thin because carrots take longer to cook. So I'll slice carrots very thin and saute that together. I will also slice my bell peppers, 3 colors of bell peppers. And I will slice mushroom. And I saute all of that with just Cajun seasoning and pepper. That's all you need. A little Cajun seasoning and pepper. And then I'll throw in some spinach and some kale. And you are talking about something that is just so filling, so good. And if you're really, really just feeling yourself, I would also add a crusty garlic bread on the side.
Ooh. But is it just vegetables in the bowl?
It's just veggies.
Really? And they're just sauteed in avocado oil?
Avocado.
Pepper and Cajun seasoning?
That's it.
Love that.
Just great. And I like it hearty because
simple.
when I eat that, I eat a lot of it. And when you add a crunchy, like a rustic sourdough bread with a little bit of garlic butter, homemade, it's heaven. It's just heaven because it's filling and it's healthy and you don't need a lot of oil, but it just makes everything amazing. How about you?
Love that. So I'm going to actually do a little role reversal here because my veggie bowl actually does have chicken in it, but I'm just going with what I cooked last night because it definitely does have room for improvement. So I've been really, really digging, just trying to make something work with what's in the refrigerator. And one night I just made a stir fry, which was only sweet potatoes, broccoli, and chicken. And that's it.
Ooh.
And it was a really good flavor combo. That sweetness of that sweet potatoes.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So my basic veggie bowl is that. But the reason why it just really needs incremental improvement is because last night I made it and it was just a total fail. I ended up making
What happened?
I ended up making this teriyaki sauce because I just wanted it to have just a splash of a little bit of flavor because I made a fried rice on the side. So I had some rice and I did the rice with just peas and egg. And then I added sesame and garlic and I added sesame oil at the end. So I just wanted this kind of light stir fry and then this fried rice on the side. And I ended up having just a little bit of extra teriyaki. So I ended up just, because I wasn't paying attention, I was still checking my work email and doing all this stuff. I ended up just dumping the rest of the sauce on top of the veggies. And it was just total overkill. It made it so soggy. It was too salty. It was too heavy-handed. Herschel wouldn't even eat it. I ruined it. And I was so upset with myself because it was just a product of trying to multitask. And when I was speaking with Beth, who's my spiritual advisor this morning, she said, why don't you just try doing one thing at a time? Doing one thing at a time is very restful. And because I said, how do you rest? How do you rest? And she said, I just do the thing that is in front of me and I take the emotion out of it and I'm not doing multiple things and I'm not having a psychosis over my to-do list. And that is exactly what went wrong. She hit the nail on the head. So that one for me needs incremental improvement because I overcomplicated it and then I tried to just blast it with flavor and I killed it and I ruined just the simplicity of the ingredients.
Yeah.
So that's just one that the 1.0 is that it is just sweet potato and broccoli and chicken. It's up to you whether you want to add something to that, but that's the base of it. So that's where I'm going to go back to. I'm going to go back to basics, and that's me today.
I love how you're present to what's going wrong. One thing I never do, like how people want to like start cooking and then they walk out of the kitchen and they're doing other things.
That's what I was doing.
My mother taught me not to do that as a young girl. She's like, I remember burning rice because she's like, you can't. I remember having something on the stove and she's like, you're running around. She said, you have to focus on what's happening in here. And I learned that very early. So I never mess up the rice. I never, and when I do, the very, very rare chance that I'll walk out of the kitchen to go and do something else, I can almost guarantee that I'm going to mess something up.
Ruined.
I just can't take that chance. So I get
dumpster
that.
fire
And I
of a
hate
dinner.
that happened to you. But
yes, very disappointing.
What you started with, and the only thing I would add to my veggie bowl if I had it, bean sprouts. I really like bean sprouts. So when I'm just looking for things to make my veggie bowl hearty, I'll lay all the vegetables in there. But if I have some fresh bean sprouts, that's a great add to that bowl.
You can grow those from chia seeds. My brother told me this weekend.
I can't
really
want to
go slow food
stuff. Don't get me started.
Yeah.
Don't get me started. Okay, so I'm going to end this today. Let me just congratulate my co-host for taking the wheel today and allowing me to be a pretty, pretty passenger princess. I appreciate that. And I don't know if I got to sing to you for your birthday, but I want to say happy birthday to you. I don't know if I got to sing to you for your birthday, but I love you, Jen.
I'm soaking it in. I'm not pushing it away. I'm bringing it in and I'm holding onto it and absorbing the birthday blessings.
I love it. This has been another amazing episode of What's the Temp podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today and be great on purpose.
Have a great 24. Peace.
Bye.